Hey, Engraver here. Welcome back to my channel and welcome back to a Logic Pro demo, a work in progress. This is a faith-based song that I'm working on. Right now we just have the electronic instrumentation, but these instruments are pretty much going to stay. You might just see me tweak a few things in terms of velocity, maybe MIDI data, maybe some changes in instrumentation, but I think I have what I want. We have a drone here, provided to you by Omnisphere 2 if you have that software. We also have a little bit of that cello bass instrument feel that you may have heard in these transition scenes, sandwiched in between these longer drones. We also have my melody track here, which I did input here for my melody for my reference when I was writing the lyrics. Now the lyrics are all done, finally. They took about 3 weeks to finish, but I have that and I just have to record it with my voice. Record the lyrics with my voice, I mean. And for now, just go ahead and look at the MIDI data and see if you can gather the melody there. But I actually will keep the melody under wraps until I release this song. But I do have the interlude. The Cavaqueno instrument is also for the interlude where there are no words, where it is just instrumentation with some of that cello sound and some of that beautiful Portuguese instrument. I think it is Portuguese. And for my percussion, we have a rather reedy kind of wooden sounding bass. And that is also provided to you by Omnisphere. It is called Cedar Space. I keep the title of my track just so I remember these instruments. And I haven't modified this instrument. I really like this feel. You might hear it when we solo out the track. And after that, we have 4 instruments provided to you by Logic Pro. This is the African kit. So these instruments here are part of the presets, comes with the package, as much as I understand they did for me with this version. And here's this lovely Cavaqueno interlude. And here you can see that there is no main melody. I have this be my actually, this right here is my A section, and then this is my B section, and then repeated. With here you can see there is a gap, and there will be an intro or an entrance of the B section as another instrumental interlude. But until then, I'm just singing words that are more or less a transition. It's a different scene from the A and B melodies. And so my B section is here, and we've got my A and B here before I break out into the name Emmanuel. So I'm just gonna go ahead and tweak a few things if they need tweaked. If not, we've got our structure, and I think we've got our instrumentation. Now, if the instruments sound thin, it's probably natural because they are not mixed. These are as raw as they come, and I'll have this mixed and mastered hopefully in a couple of weeks, and hopefully I'll have this released sometime next month in July. And then I have a little bit of a figure here. Definitely playing around with these little gestures today. Now I have a little patch here that I'm gonna try to make work. I love it so much, but I don't know where to place it, so hopefully it works here. Let's just go ahead and hear that. It's a little off, but I think it can work. And this instrument, the cavaquinho, same one as this melody track, I will use this as an instrumental as well. So I will record with voice and release the song with voice, but I will also do an instrumentation as well, just where it's just electronics. Let's start with our cedar bass. And you can see, I call it cedar bass, and it kind of sounds like it's a bass instrument or a percussion of some kind that may have been made of some sturdy wood. So you can see this is just pretty much a rhythmic ostinato all the way. And there is some change here as the song progresses, but it's not that many harmonic changes in this piece, and that's fine. This song is meant to inspire prayer. You know, you don't really want to think too much. It's just more emotive, and I don't intend for this piece to be very busy in terms of orchestration. And you can see that it is all at this velocity, I believe, 61. And we've got the library here. You can see that the amplification parameters, we have the sustain and the release all the way up for both instruments. Actually, I do have the sustain low on this cedar B instrument. I'm going to remember this parameter number, about 0.41, and I'm just going to scooch it up just to see what that sounds like. There's a little bit of a clip sound. It's very light, but it might make it through the master. So I'll have to be careful about that. But I do like that the release is quite long. It kind of plays around the front of your head, maybe even a little bit behind the ears, just under or right at the threshold of your earlobe. And this is going to double in terms of rhythm. This is going to double the djembe bass here. And I have this set at 40, and I'm not going to go more than one velocity value per instrument as far as the bass and percussion is concerned. It's got a bit of an off, just slightly off, not quite quantized even if it looks like it. And I like that subtle attack between the two instruments, and it's just microscopically off to give that dimension. Let's add another percussion instrument. This is sitting at velocity 51. Now, with these very swift beating gestures here, I might change the velocity. Let's try that. Let's try maybe giving that about 70-ish, 74, maybe midway, 69, and that's, 64. Let's see what that sounds like. I don't care for that, actually. So we will go ahead and just keep it at 51. I don't mind it being consistent like that. A lot of people like changes in velocity and velocity, a lot of velocity values at random because it sounds more human. And you can definitely humanize that. You can also humanize a little bit of the attack of the note and where it's placed on the grid. But I don't hear too much. It's not mechanical sounding to me, and that could be just me. But for now, we'll just keep it as is. Let's also add the conga. This is sitting at 70. Now, I know it's quite thin right now because it hasn't been mixed, but velocity 70 for this instrument I really like in terms of tone. Let's see if let's go ahead and just solo that and see if we hear something different with a smaller velocity. Yeah, so there not too much change in terms of the pitch and tone, but definitely that texture. So yep, 70 right there. Not texture, I should say, more of the acoustics, the acousmatics of how that sound is really hit. And why don't we add the high djembe and also the bass, djembe bass. Bass, I kind of want to bring that sustain down just a little bit. Yeah, I might mess with that. It really does depend on how it sounds through the mix and maybe how it sounds with vocals. Now, I do have for this one a bit of a tremolo. I'm going to actually mess with the tremolo here for a second. That's not what I wanted. I wanted just this soloed. I'm probably not doing this as delicately or as efficiently as possible. Yeah, I like that. If it sounds any better with a different velocity value. It does sound quite thin at the higher velocity. And this actually does add a little bit of texture that I might not want with singing words, so all of this is going to be factored in once I have the words recorded. So you can see here that for every track, in terms of bass and instruments in the percussion, I'm keeping specific values, specific velocity values for each track. So bass being 61. I believe this was 51. And 70, I believe. And high djembe is 40. And this was, I believe, 30. Or, nope, that's 40. However, something that is a bit more expressive, that's not really part of the rhythmic section or the bass section, I think needs a little bit more articulation and expression. So something like this interlude instrument, I think we can adjust. So right now we have, not that, there we go. Let's see what this sounds like. Right, it's not that bad. Let's go to our velocity tool and bring these up. You can, whether they're all the same or even different values here, you can hit Command, Option, and Shift and bring them all up to the same value. At this velocity value 80, I just like the attack. Sometimes it just hits a note just right. And I do think it depends on the range of this instrument, because notice these are all the same value, but this didn't attack this E flat here to this B flat here. It wasn't the same attack even though it's the same velocity, so it might be depending on the range as well. Let's add a bit of more like a humanistic quality to it. So I'll go ahead and highlight all these and go to MIDI transform under functions and humanize. And for this, I will have it be, I would say, so the range could be up to 10 higher than the value given, which is 80, the current value is 80, so up to 90, or down to 70. So I don't think I need it that much. I'm gonna go down to about 8 and select and operate. And let's see how this sounds. That might not actually be enough, but you can see the change of color, some a little bit more green, some even greener, and some a little bit yellow. Let's see how this sounds. The lower, I think they need to be a little bit more. Let's see what that is. I'm not hearing too much of a difference here. Definitely, I think it has to do with the register. But in any case, it's good practice to want to see what you want a little on the warmer spectrum and what you want on the cooler spectrum. I think this here, I think these need to be brought down just a little bit. Alright, so you can see that this is 75, and then this is 74, 73, 74. So not the same velocity, and what I had done was I had highlighted those, drag it across, and just Command will bring them down to their respective values. So 75 to, let's do 78. Now this is 78, 77, 78, and all of that. I think for now that should be fine. Go ahead and do this one here. I do not have my magic mouse. I haven't had my magic mouse in a long time. I need to replace the battery, so I'm using just a standard, I think it's a Logitech mouse. Not ideal for scrolling on Apple software. I feel like that can be, we'll just bring them all the way up to, let's say 85 maybe? Yeah, I like that volume much better. Same as before here, just a little bit more chopped up, a little bit of variation there. And because it's another section of previously established material, I would like it a little bit louder, a little bit more expressive, and because of that, I think our randomization for the Humanize MIDI transform, I think that should be about, let's give it up to 13 or 15, I should say. Ooh, that's some contrast there. Let's see, hopefully we can hear some contrast. I don't know, we'll see. It's the lower end here. I'm not really a fan of that getting into the red territory. So red is about 99, up in the upper 90s. So I think I will take definitely these and bring them down. So command and then just drag. I think that's a little bit better. And right here, that is quite strong, so I'll bring that down. It's still there. I wonder bringing it down all the way to the cooler colors would change anything. I hope. Oh yeah, for sure. Okay, so I would say maybe 68. Not quite up to 75, maybe that. Maybe bring those down a bit. A little bit. I'm gonna boost this up just a smidge. Like that. And then this already had some variety in terms of velocity values. And let's see if this is all right. It might need a bit more. Higher values, I mean. Know for this, I'd like it more. So it is saying, I believe 30 is our lowest. Let's check that. Yeah, 30. Yep, 30. 66, I think, being our highest. Maybe 70. Yeah, 72. So it is actually, you know, when you select these, it will take the lowest. So anything you work up will be respective to this number, to this velocity here on this little tiny pickup there. All right, so you can already see some red colors here. So that was definitely a little too much. Let's bring those down. I like that gesture, so let's go ahead and fix that after I change the velocity. So we've got 29 here as our lowest value. Let's go ahead and bring it all up. Whoa, might be too much. Let's bring that up as well. That'll be fine. Oh. It's not meant to be in the foreground. Let's hear it in context. I'd bring these down to a bit more green. Not such a yellow green. And for the gesture that I love so much, that is currently not set in stone as far as its location, if I even include it. But even if I don't include it, you'll hear what it sounds like if you don't hear it, you know, at the point of release. So all this is 60, as I suspected. Let's go ahead and bring it all the way up to 80. Well, that's not 80. There we go. And why don't we just go ahead and humanize that? We'll take it down to 10. Let's see what that does. That's off by a 16th of, well, a fourth of a beat, like a 16th note, but I will fix it. So yeah, revision to be determined. Now I think there were some, I think these were a little bit too much. You know, there's something about that, you know, A flat, I believe. Yeah, I don't call it G sharp because it's in the key of E flat minor. It has to be E flat minor. This song calls for it to be E flat minor, not E. Anyway, that's besides the point. These are a bit much. this to be a little bit more. Move this over here. And then lengthen this. Let's see what that sounds like. I'm not sure. I'm not sure about that. I'll find it. I'll find what I'm looking for with that. It seems to be a little bit off in terms of rhythm. Now, even if this little section doesn't make the song, the actual song with the lyrics, if I do an instrumentation, an instrumental of this song, I think I can squeeze this in either with the, at the outro or maybe even at the intro right here. So we'll see. All right. I think that's everything so far. Now with this, with the Adagio Transparent, the Omnisphere, I was thinking about changing it because I was thinking, well, electronic music and drones versus, something that obviously sounds like a cello. And I was playing with it and I was like, I don't think I want to change it. So I think it's here to stay. Maybe add a bit more delay, maybe a bit more reverb to have it in kind of a background, maybe a washed out background while this instrument is playing here. And this is all the same velocity. That may change also. Maybe having the upper layer here, maybe softer than the bass root, the bass of the chord. And I do apologize for this sounding a little thin in here, but hopefully we'll get that tone and that dimension after the mix and master. That is the B section of the melody. That's all you get for this preview. So I think that's everything for now. Not much tweaking after this. Thank you always for watching and listening. Always be on the lookout for some more sound experimentation every Thursday and some live commentary every Tuesday. And hit that like button, accent that like button, as Two Set Violin says. And until I see you next, keep producing the art you love, and I will catch you later. Thanks always.